everyone and welcome back. So today I'm going to be doing a bit of a Vanity makeup collection refresh. So I kind of want to switch up how I am currently organising all of my makeup. I have an IKEA Malm like dressing table vanity here, and then I have this new set of drawers from Canon which I got kind of towards the end of last year. And ideally I want to keep my everyday staples in my IKEA dresser, and then everything else can go into these sets of drawers here on the side. So today I wanted to do exactly that, show you my entire makeup collection. There might be a couple of bits that I want to declutter, but overall I'm pretty happy with where my collection is at the moment. So I don't think there'll be too much that we're going to be getting rid of. I think we just need a bit of an organisation, a refresh. My dressing table is getting pretty full, which is why I want to try and move as much as I can into my other drawers. So if you enjoy makeup collections, if you enjoy these types of organisation videos, then do make sure to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe if you're not already, and let's get into it. So this is my current Vanity situation. All of my makeup is in here. I do have some eye products that I've already put into my drawers from Canon, but other than that everything is in this drawer, and as you can see there are certain categories that are overflowing. It's getting a bit messy and a bit chaotic. So I want to pull everything out of here, give everything a bit of a clean and a wipe down as well, sort it into categories. Again, there are a couple of things that I want to declutter. So yeah, I'm going to pull everything out, give everything a bit of a wipe down and a clean. I have my brushes as well, which need to be washed quite desperately. I think that's a bit of a health and safety hazard at this point. So yes, I'm going to take my kind of everyday brushes that are over here, take those to the bathroom to get washed. I have some random bits of makeup as well, which I need to put away. And yeah, just give everything a bit of a clean so that I can assess the situation, see what I want to move over and see what I want to keep in this drawer. Okay, so that is all of my makeup essentially. This drawer is now completely empty. I do have some drawer liners in here as well. And then in case you were wondering, a lot of the like storage bins are from Muji. I think this bigger one is from HomeSense. So now that I've kind of got everything out and I can see what I'm working with, I've emptied obviously all of the other containers and I've wiped those down. So I think we're now at the stage we can start moving things into the other drawers. So I think I'm going to use the top 3 drawers. At the moment in here I have like some random camera stuff and some razor blades. So I think this is going to be like my face drawer. So foundations, powders, blushes, all that kind of stuff. I might not even need 3 drawers, you know. We'll see how we go. So I'll do eye products in here, and then I will do lips in this 3rd drawer potentially. These drawers are quite big, so I might not fill the space, but that's fine. My mug is from Anthropology, for anyone that's wondering. It's my favourite because it has a golden retriever on the front that looks like my golden retriever. So I'm going to take the razors out of here. So in this bottom drawer of this unit I have hair tools, I have like period stuff, just random things. So I think I'm going to add my razors into that drawer. And then I have like a spare microphone and a lens adapter as well. So I'm going to put those again in that bottom drawer because that's where quite a lot of my electronics sit at the moment. So I actually only have 3 primers in my collection at the moment. So I feel like I can use quite a small bin for those. So my three primers that I have at the moment, I have my e.l.f. Power Grip, my Hollywood Flawless Filter, and my e.l.f. Halo Glow. So I think we're going to stand these up here. Okay, I'm going to move you. I'm sorry, I have to move you. I have to do it. Okay, so I tried to move you to a slightly better position. This is the top drawer, so it's quite high, and this is like the highest length that my tripod goes. I've got you on fully zoomed out as well, so I think this is the best that we're going to be able to do. I'm also going to pop my setting spray in here as well. This is the e.l.f. Dewy Coconut Setting Spray. So I'm going to keep those 4 products all together. And then maybe I will add like skin tints and lighter coverage foundations in with my primers as well. So let's gather those up. Okay, so I have 4 kind of skin tint products. So let's find a place for these first. So I have 2 of the Rose Inc Skin Enhance Luminous Tinted Serums. I am going to get rid of the shade. Oh, I thought, okay, actually I'm not going to get rid of either shade. For some reason I thought I had 010 and 020, but I actually have 020 and 030. So maybe I will keep both of these. Yeah, I thought this was the shade 010, but actually I must have already decluttered that one. So I'm going to keep both of these because I do find, I mean, as you can see, I've actually used up more of the slightly lighter shade because I do like to mix that in with other foundations if a product is a bit too dark for me. So I'm going to keep both of those. I then have my L'Oreal True Match Nude Serum, so I'm going to pop that in there as well. And my Maybelline Superstay, which is probably my favourite base product at the moment. So that's going in. Might move that to the everyday makeup drawer. So I then have 2 of my Givenchy Prisme Libre foundations. This again is a like favourite formula of mine. I just love how beautiful and skin-like this foundation is. I do have 2 shades, 2C180 and 2N150. I can use these interchangeably. They both work quite well for me, so I'm going to keep both of those. I then have my Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Foundation. That one is going in. NARS Sheer Glow. This is such a classic formula and one I still really like and enjoy. So we're going to add that in. I then have the newly reformulated Lasting Finish foundation from Rimmel. These were kindly sent to me in PR. I have 2 shades, 70 Sesame and 100 Ivory. 70 Sesame is definitely a bit too warm, and it is the kind of slightly darker of the 2. So I think I'm going to pass that one along, but I am going to keep 100 Ivory. That one, I can make it work, so I'm going to keep that. I then have 3 of the Rose Inc Soft Light Luminous foundations. This might be a bit excessive as well. So the 2 on the left here is 4W Light Warm and 3N Fair Neutral. Those 2 work well for me. Again, I can kind of use them interchangeably. And then I have the shade 6W Light Warm. I am going to keep hold of all 3 of these. I feel like this is a foundation I would really enjoy in the summer for special occasions. And so I think having the darker shade would be quite useful as well in the summertime. So I'm going to keep all 3 of these. That's excessive, isn't it? But you know, I make the rules. Perfect fit, would you look at that? So they all fit perfectly in that little bin. So I would say that's quite successful. Okay, moving on to concealers now. So I might keep my concealers and powders in the same one because I don't have too many of those, and I don't have a bin small enough for just my concealers. So I've got 2 of the Rose Inc Soft Light Concealers. Really like this formula. It's probably one of my most reached for at the moment. I've got 2 shades, LX10 and LX30. LX10 is a really good brightening shade. It looks very desaturated and almost grey. So if you have very fair skin, that is a really nice one to go for. And LX30 is just a good kind of all-round everyday shade for me. I'm gonna lay those flat as well. And then I have my NYX Bear With Me while I focus the camera. My NYX Bear With Me Serum Concealer, one of my all-time favourites. A really good formula, so definitely adding that in there. And then I have my NARS Soft Matte. This is almost on its way out actually. I've not got much left of this. And this is a really good, slightly fuller coverage concealer, but still very beautiful and wearable. So I'm going to add that in there. And then I think I am going to get rid of these two concealers. So I have the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin and the Huda Beauty corrector. I've done a full review on the Huda Beauty corrector, but I just find the shade Pink Pomelo a bit too dark for me. And they have released a couple of lighter shades, and to be honest, I wish that they would have just released those when they first launched the product, because I definitely would have gone for one of those. Whereas instead, I did go for the lighter shade that they had available at the time, and I feel like it was just a bit of a waste, to be honest. I do enjoy the formula, but again, the shade is just a touch too dark. And then the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Concealer, just not one of my favourite formulas. I find it to be a bit more drying than the Rose Ink, and definitely more drying than my next one, so I just don't reach for it. It's not the most flattering product in the world, especially under the eyes. So I am going to declutter these two products, which actually leaves me with quite a nice little concealer collection down there. I then have all of my face powders. I don't think I'm going to get rid of any of these. So I've got my Bare Minerals Original Mineral Veil. This is a slightly pinky toned powder, which is very popular at the moment. Got my Rimmel Stay Matte. The packaging is a little bit beaten actually, but this is a really good drugstore powder if you want just a classic setting powder. I've got my Bite Beauty. This isn't available anymore, but I am determined to use this one up. And it was in my project pan, and yeah, I'm gonna continue to just chip away at it. I have my lovely Hourglass Trio. This is one of my favourite powder formulas. Hourglass just do powders so beautifully. If you have dry skin, they just lay so nicely on the skin, and they don't emphasise any dry patches. They're quite luminous as well, so a nice finishing powder, I suppose, more than your traditional matte setting powder. Where's my Charlotte Tilbury? And then have the classic Charlotte Tilbury airbrush powder. Again, this has quite a hefty dent in there. Love this powder, definitely one of my favourites. If I could just keep one face powder, it would be this one for sure. Okay, so that's actually fit quite nicely in there. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that. I really like this setup actually, because I have a lot more height, so I can stand my foundations up. Whereas before in my IKEA drawer, I couldn't do that. So that's good. What are we doing next? Maybe we'll do bronzers next, I think. Okay, so I'm gonna do bronzers, and I might add my highlighters in here as well, because again, I don't have too many highlighters. So I feel like I can probably put them in the same one. I have my very old school and very loved Benefit Hoola bronzer. I'd love to finish this one up this year actually. As you can see, a very large pan, so I think I can use this up this year, and I really like the tone of this Hoola light. So put that in. Then got my L'Oreal Paradise bronzer. This is just quite a nice drugstore one. The tone is slightly more yellow than other bronzers that I have, but I don't hate it. My Chanel, I love this one. It's just so bloody expensive, to be honest, so I'm not going to get rid of this until every gram has been used up. I then have my Charlotte Tilbury airbrush bronzer as well, which I love. It's another favourite of mine. Really like the tone. This one is in the shade medium. I don't want to stack because I want to be able to see everything, so maybe if I do that, that kind of works. I have two cream bronzers. I've got my e.l.f. Putty Bronzer and my Nude Sticks Bondi Bay. Definitely keeping both of those. I then have my two highlighters from Charlotte Tilbury. I have the powder highlight in Champagne Glow, which is really pretty. I have a full review of this as well. Very nice. Not as nice as the highlighter in the Film Star Bronze and Glow, I will say that, but still a really lovely one. And I have the cream Glow Gasm wand as well, which is probably my favourite highlight at the moment. So now I'm going to move on to blush. I do powders first, and I have two drugstore powder blushes here. I've got my e.l.f. Primer Infused Blush in Always Rosy and Milani Luminoso. And I am going to try and kind of stack them that way, just so that they're not laying on top of each other. I have done a full blush collection and declutter fairly recently, so I'll have that linked below for you if you want a bit more of an in-depth collection. So I will kind of speed through this one a little bit more. I've got my Fat Boy blush from The Balm, my two NARS blushes, which I probably should declutter because I don't think these are actually available anymore, but I really like the shades, they're quite unique, so I'm going to keep those. Then got two from Charlotte Tilbury, my Benefit blush in Sunny, one of my favourite summer blushes. I then have a couple of other coral pink blushes that I really like in the summer. So this is Hourglass Dim Infusion and the Too Faced, what are they called? Cloud Crush in Tequila Sunrise, which is such a nice matte coral blush. Really long lasting. Really enjoy the formula. My newest one is this Armani Beauty Blush in the shade 50. This is quite similar to NARS Orgasm Benefit Coralista, that kind of pinky peach with a really nice gold shimmer. I'm getting rid of that. Oh gosh. And then I think the last powder blush I have is the Tarte blush in Doll Face, which is that really pretty kind of very cool toned blue based pink. This was a very trending shade last year, so I do want to keep that in there. Okay, look at that. That actually fits really beautifully. Okay, I think that's my cream. No, I think that's my powder blushes done. So moving on to creams, I've got my two Rose Inc blushes. Have my Refi blush. Then have my two e.l.f. blushes. I've got the Putty Blush in Turks and Caicos and the Multi Stick in Glistening Peach. NARS Liquid Blush in Orgasm. I really love this one for kind of no makeup days because it's very sheer. New Sticks Beach Babe. Oh my god. I love this shade. It's such a nice, just everyday, warm toned pink. Then my last two, I have the Charlotte Tilbury Glowgasm Wand in Pinkgasm, which is more of a blush topper, but I will keep it with my cream blushes. And then Benefit, this isn't Benefit, Glossier Dawn, which is a beautiful fiery orange shade. There's room to spare, which is quite dangerous because, as you can see, I have quite a blush obsession, so I'm going to try not to fill this up as the year progresses. Really happy with how this first drawer turned out. I can see everything, nothing is overflowing or too crowded. There's still a little bit of room to spare, which is nice in case I do pick anything up. So yeah, happy with that. We can do a bit more of a bird's eye view here, I think, because we're moving down now. So I'm thinking I might be able to do eyes and lips in one drawer, and then I will have my third drawer spare, which will be really nice, which I can use for like skincare backups and things like that. So I'm going to add all of my brow products first. I don't have many, so I've selected the smallest bin I have available to me. So these are the brow products that I have in my collection at the moment. I've got my Refi Brow Sculpt, my Glossier Tinted Brow Gel, my Kosas Brow Gel, and I have a very lonely e.l.f. not precisely my brow, Ultra Precise Brow Pencil. It looks quite empty, that drawer at the moment, but that's fine. I don't need to fill every nook and cranny, and I need to keep telling myself that. So next up, I'm going to add my cream eye products, and I might also add my eyeliners and mascaras in here as well, because again, I don't have a ton of mascaras, I don't have a lot of cream eyeshadows open at the moment, so I think just one container will be able to fit both of those. So I've got my Charlotte Tilbury Booster Pearl, which is going in there. Got my Chanel shadow, which is dry as a bone, but it's expensive, so I'm not getting rid of it. And then my two Bobbi Brown, and then I have two Bobbi Brown eye sticks as well. Oh, I have a couple of other ones actually. I've then got two kind of lighter shimmery shades. So I've got the Revlon Praline, very similar shade to the Armani Eye Tint, as you can see, but this one is obviously in a slightly stiffer cream form, whereas the Armani is a liquid. There was no doubt those were going to fit in there. Let's zoom in a bit closer actually, shall we? I've got 3 eyeliners I'm also going to pop in this drawer. I've got my liquid one from Paul & Joe, my Urban Decay pencil, and my Charlotte Tilbury. Got 2 mascaras open at the moment. I've got my Lash and Roll, which is probably nearly finished, to be honest, and I've got my Bobbi Brown. And then have all of my eyeshadow palettes in here. Again, I've done quite a recent eyeshadow palette collection and declutter video. So I'm just gonna add them all in there. I don't know whether to take out my smaller eyeshadow palettes, because I do feel like they get a bit lost in there. So I might do that actually. Okay, I'm gonna add smaller eyeshadow palettes into this container because I feel like they just get a bit lost with a lot of my bigger ones. So let's see what I've got. I've got 2 Charlotte Tilbury palettes here. I can probably lay those flat, I think, because I don't have that many. I've got my Viseart, which we love, my fave. And I've got this small NARS palette. It's quite pretty, almost matches my jumper. And my Lisa Eldridge Muse palette as well. That's really pretty. Nice one for Valentine's Day, although that's past now, so moving on. Cool, yeah, and then I might take out my face palettes actually. So I've got the Hourglass and the Kevyn Aucoin, and I'm gonna add these to this drawer. I just kind of stand them at the back. So I've just put those in the back to keep them with my cheap products, because that's where I'm obviously going to remember to use them, rather than in my eye drawer when I've already done my blush, bronzer, etc. And then I just have all of my other eyeshadow palettes in here. I do have my 2 naked ones. I don't use these because they are very old, so do not worry about that. But I do just like to keep them for the memories. So I think that's fine actually. So that's quite an empty drawer, but it has all of my eye products. So we've got my brows, cream shadows, liners and mascaras, smaller eyeshadow palettes, and my larger palettes in here. And then I've got quite a lot of room to play with for my lip products actually. So I'm going to put my lip balms and my lip liners in the first drawer, because that's the kind of first step, or the products I will reach for first. So I've got a couple of little balms in here. I've got the fresh fresh sugar caramel and the Sunbum cocoa balm. These I just like to apply as I'm doing my makeup. I find that they hydrate the lips, but they sink in quite well. I then have all of my lip liners. I've got a couple of NYX ones. I've got an Essence, love the Charlotte Tilbury ones, and then I have the Colourpop BFF as well. And I feel like my lip liners are the products that get lost in my lip collection, so I'm happy that I can have those separated and I can see them all. I would really love to get specific lipstick organisers where they have like the individual little dividers, but I don't have any of those at the moment. I'm just trying to use what I have. So I'm going to add tinted balms and lipsticks, I think, to this next box. I have 2 of the fresh balms. I've got Spice and Tulip. Don't know if I'll need to stand them up, but I'm going to start with them stood up just so we know how much room we have. I think I've got a couple of tinted balms in my handbag, but they permanently live in my handbag, to be honest, so I don't really need to factor them in here. I've got my Charlotte Tilbury lipsticks. I'm definitely missing some. So I've got Bond Girl, Miranda May, Bitch Perfect, Red Carpet Red. So I'm missing Stone Rose, which is my favourite lipstick of all time. It's probably in a bag somewhere. I've then got this lovely lipstick from Vive. The packaging's so pretty. It's nice, light pink. Very similar to the Charlotte Tilbury packaging, so I'm gonna add that up there. I've got my lovely Tom Ford lipstick. Then got just some Rogue ones. I've got Glossier Cake, this one from Givenchy, which I think is a red. Yeah, I do have another Givenchy one as well. That's probably in the bag somewhere. And then I have this Rose Ink one. I might get rid of this because the colour just isn't really for me. It's quite a kind of deep purple shade and I just really don't find this type of shade flattering. So I might pass this one along. I really like the packaging. I think it's quite, you know, sleek and minimal, but the shade just isn't one that I reach for, so I'm going to pass this along. Then got some other random kind of one brand lipsticks. I've got my Armani Lip Power, really love this one. I've got this one from Catrice, which is in Mocha Delight. This is such a beautiful shade. Definitely super, super underrated in my opinion. I've got this one from Huda. This is in the shade Fast Kiss. This is quite a kind of cool toned matte. Not one I reach for a whole lot, but I don't know, it has its time and place, so I'm gonna keep it. I've got my Colourpop lippy stick in BFF, which is a warm nude. I do quite like this lippy stick formula. It's quite long lasting. A bit dry. I do find you have to have your lips prepped quite well. I then have all of my MAC lipsticks as well, which I am going to keep. Then I've got one final bin which I'm going to add my lip glosses and lip oils to. So I've got my 3 Clarins lip oils complete with hair. I've got the shades Strawberry, Chocolate and Apricot, keeping all of those. Love how they fit perfectly in there. Got my Milani Fruit Fetish in Strawberry Melon as well. And then I have 4 kind of traditional lip glosses. So I've got the Charlotte Tilbury Rosy Glow, my Lisa Eldridge Muse, Fenty Fussy, and the Lifter Gloss from Maybelline in Wreath. I love lip gloss and lip oils. I probably reach for one every single day and I do use every single one of these. I didn't think I would fill up the space, to be honest, with just lip products because I don't actually have a ton. And things like lip liners are super easy to store, they don't take up a lot of room, and I have quite a lot of lip products in my handbags as well. So yeah, I knew that I wouldn't have a problem fitting all of these in. This is my final makeup setup. Really happy that I actually took the time to go through everything and move everything into these drawers. I was going to do an everyday makeup drawer as well, back in my Vanity from IKEA, but I ran out of storage bins and I feel like this video is probably quite long anyway, so I might do that as like a part 2 to this video, kind of picking out my current favourites and creating maybe like a seasonal everyday makeup drawer. So do subscribe if you'd be interested in that. My Vanity from IKEA now looks super, super empty, but again, I'll probably do a part 2 to this video and we can get some other storage bins here and do like a seasonal everyday makeup drawer. I've seen quite a lot of people do that and I like that idea. I love to do my makeup here because I've got a big window, I've got my ring light in case it's dark, it's just like the perfect place to do my makeup. So I would like to have some products in here that I can just easily reach for. So I really hope that you enjoyed this makeup collection and organise video. If you did, please make sure to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe if you're not already, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!